Hey everybody, this is Kenny C from Chilling with Jeff and Kenny C, bringing you an exclusive interview for the Deadbabes fans out there. I'm joined with one of the new faces of the Deadbabes, all the way from Canada. I am proud to be joined with a model, a radio talk show host, and her name is Joan V, and she is joining me right now. Hello, Joan.
Hello, Kenny. How are you?
I'm doing real good, and thank you so much for taking time off your busy schedule and doing this interview.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you so much for contacting me today.
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and get started. How did you get started in modeling?
Well, actually, I got started quite by accident. I live in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, which is a very small rural city. It's quite tiny compared to a lot of American cities, in that our population at the most is around 600,000 people, and we're stuck in the middle of the prairie provinces. So there's a lot of farmland around here. And I was 18 years old when my mom and I were standing in Winnipeg International Airport, which is also small, but they recently renovated it and now it's huge. It's now an international sized airport, but at the time we were both waiting for a friend of ours to arrive from Japan in order to visit some of his friends here in Winnipeg and all the way across Canada. He was on tour. Now, this friend of hers, my mom's, is also a professional photojournalist. He's retired now at the time, but when I was 18 and was standing there in Winnipeg Airport waiting for him to arrive, and he showed up, he basically looked at me and looked at my mom and asked her, he said, "Does your daughter do any modeling or anything?" And she says, "Well, no. She's in high school. She's just finishing high school right now." And he basically told her she should be modeling somehow. I was really shocked when he said that. I never thought of myself that way because when I was in school from about grade 6 to grade 10, I was actually considered homely. I wore thick glasses, I had stringy hair, I had a little bit of acne problems on my skin, and I just never thought I could do it. But what he did was he encouraged me to try it out. He took some wonderful pictures of me, and they were actually published in a Japanese publication because he's from Tokyo originally and a photojournalist. So he not only did the photographs beautifully, but he also did a write up on it as well. So that's how I got started. And then I met, again by accident, a talent agent. And back then, she was running a model and talent management company called Sarge Talent Agency. She moved actually to British Columbia, I think in 1990 or so. So I lost touch with her. She closed down the business here in Manitoba and moved because she was getting married. But she was a really great mentor for me, and she helped me to get started in mainstream petite modeling at first. And then I wanted to switch to alternative modeling because that was my lifestyle. That's the kind of music and culture and fashion I always was really in love with. It's more natural for me as a person. So that's how I basically got started. It was completely unexpected, very much by accident, Kenny.
It doesn't look like an accident now, considering I've been looking at your bio and accomplishments, and look how established you've become.
Oh, thank you. Well, I don't know if I call myself established yet. I know there's still a lot more I would like to do, but I basically am enjoying the ride because it's a big part of my life. I like to express myself visually through photographic art, and so I'm basically just doing what comes naturally for me and what I really, really enjoy and feel passionate about.
Well, let's just say you're off to a good start then.
Thank you, Kenny.
So, of course, one of the reasons why I'm interviewing you at this time is because you recently are now part of a modeling group called the Dead Babes. You are out there in Canada and everything. You told me a little bit about this before we got this interview started, and I want you to tell the listeners out there what made you decide to be a part of the Dead Babes.
Well, I decided to check out Deadbabe's, Kenny, because I've seen them showing up on my Google search engine quite a lot recently, especially. So I did click onto their website and I realized that there are a lot of well-established as well as, everybody in between in terms of the models that they choose. But what really struck me the most, I think, Kenny, is the fact that they don't just pick anybody, like some agencies or some e-zines or blogs do, or other agencies. They're very specific about what they're actually looking for. So when I read through their criteria and their requirements, I felt that there was a really good fit. I sent them, I think it was 12 of my best recent images, as well as my biography and the links that I can be contacted at. And within about 24 hours, the girl that's running it, her name is Bree, got back to me by email and said I was in. She asked me to write a blog to start off with, which I did last week, and I had sent it in. And I was really, really pleased today because when I got up this morning, I saw an email from her saying that it was published today on Deadbabe's blog site.
Shout out to Bree and shout out to Joe. Dead Babes, what I like about them is, like you said, they're different. They
Yeah.
are type of models that go against the grain. They more of a alternative modeling type of
Yes. And
group.
you know what I also like about them, Kenny, is that they're not, like a porn site because a lot of models out there, and I have nothing against models who do, don't get me wrong, but some of the websites out there are specifically for nude shots. It almost borders on pornography, in my opinion. And my style of modeling is sort of the opposite of that. I don't mind eroticism or sensuality or feminism and femininity being represented in photographs that I do personally. However, it's not my style to just sort of take the clothes off and have shots taken like that. And Dead Babes is a site that, does not require that automatically here up front. As a matter of fact, the shots that they do ask us for is basically clothed shots. And I have a lot of respect for them in that sense because I was raised a certain way by my family, and I have nothing against nudity if it's tasteful and it's artistically done. But I'm not really into the pornographic part of that. Like to me, it's not part of my alternative vision as a model.
All right, and everybody can check out Joan V's blog over at deadbabes.org. Again, she's now the newest addition to the Dead Babes family. More photos to come. So definitely check it out. www.deadbabes.org. You mentioned you're more of an alternative model yourself. What are some other type of modeling do you like to do, Joan?
Well, I really enjoy Victorian Gothic, aristocratic goth style of modeling. I also do cosplay, glamour shoots. I do a little bit of fetishism if it's very tasteful, as well as visual K work. I do like J-rock from Japan as a style as well. So I've started pursuing some, different types of themes in that area as well, very, very recently. And to me, it's about portraying a different character each time. I really like to make my photographs very diverse and show a different side of who Joan V actually is as a person as well as a model. And I think it's important that when you do go out there and you are having photographs taken of yourself, that you also be very true to yourself in your work. And that is, don't sell yourself short and definitely don't sell out because there's going to be a lot of pressure out there from different agencies or different photographers or different companies where they want to force you into some sort of a box and they want you to look a certain way or they want you to change things all the time. I don't follow that. I basically get ideas from my own imagination and I put those shoots together myself. And I work with photographers who are very like minded in that sense. So for me, putting together a photo shoot is a lot of fun. It's a real cool process
And
because I get to be involved in it from beginning to end.
all right. So also you're not just a model. You are a internet radio talk show host, such as
Yes, that's
myself.
actually a recent role that I've taken on. It started at the end of April this year. It happened after I had a real huge slew of photo shoots out in London in the United Kingdom. I was all the way across the world, and I came back after 16 days of shooting and vacationing out there as well. And I was given this opportunity by TMV Cafe internet radio station. And TMV is actually the acronym for the Mortal Vampire Cafe. And the gentleman that is the owner and the manager of this new station is also an author, and he writes horror stories. His latest book is called The Mortal Vampire, which he named the station after. And it's a very alternative, grounded sort of station where we provide music and interviews and material that's a little more underground and non-mainstream. And I really, really like that because that's my lifestyle as well. So to be involved in this new radio station has been a really exciting and very positive experience so far. And I just see that really, really growing in the future. And if people want to find out more about us, we are on the internet, and our internet address is www.tmvcafe.com. And we have a schedule of programming. There's something on every day of the week now, and we are expanding at this point. So the sky's the limit, really.
Well, you got yourself a new listener. I'll definitely be sure into listening to the show.
Well, thank you. Actually, we have a show tonight, which is starting at 10 o'clock Central Standard Time. And my show is called Mental Candy. And I chose that name because we not only play music, but we call it food for thought. We often have interviews with interesting people.
Oh, I and everybody be on the lookout for it. Check it out. Joan V is the host. Mental Candy. Does this kind of seem odd that you being a radio host being interviewed by a radio talk show host?
I love it, actually. I think it's really neat.
Okay, I never been interviewed before, and I don't know. It kind of seems odd when one thing to host the show is another to be a part of the show, and it's like, oh, okay, I'm on the other side of the fence. Okay.
I think it's terrific.
Who do you consider as influences? People that you, I don't know, looked up to or idolized, or people that you want to say, you know what, these are the people why I'm doing what I do. Who do you consider as influences?
Oh, I have a lot of influences because of the fact that I love alternative culture, especially music. I would have to say Susie Sue of Susie and the Banshees was my initial inspiration because her style of dress and music and just the way she is as an individual is extremely refreshing, and she's very inspiring. And I also love Annie Lennox from the Eurythmics. I think she is not just beautiful, but she's a dynamic, strong woman. And I take a lot of my inspiration from women throughout different periods of history.
Sometimes I wish I can be just as enthusiastic as you are as we continue on with this interview. I'm just a mellow, laid back dude, but
Oh, that's okay, Kenny. You know, we need all kinds of people on this planet, right?
good point. Good point.
That's right. We need all sorts of personalities to get different things done.
There you go. Why don't you go ahead and promote your links, Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, or any other links that people need to know to learn more from you and your modeling and etc. So why don't you go ahead and promote your links?
Well, thank you, Kenny. I really appreciate getting a bit of a plug here. Actually, Facebook is a huge social network that works well for models, especially. So you will find my page on Facebook, and you can find me under the heading Joan V dash alternative model. As well, I'm on modelmayhem.com under Joan V as well. And you can find me on DeviantArt under the model name Stiletto13 because I used to be a punk rocker back in my earlier days, and that was my nickname. So I use that for my DeviantArt site. And I'm also, of course, on Deadbabe, which I am really, really grateful for because they are such a professionally run service for alternative models, and they are great people to work with. And in terms of Twitter, you can find me under Love My Pug 13. I used to have a pet dog, and she was a black pug named Ariel, so that's my username on Twitter if you want to add me there.
Did you mention that you was part of a rock band?
I was, yes. When I was between the ages of 18 and 25, I was in a band. It was a punk rock group called the Strange Neighbors.
Wow. Look, rock
It was
artist,
more like a garage band.
a rock artist, a model, a radio talk show host, dead babe. Is there anything that Joan V doesn't do?
I don't do Windows.
Oh, okay. Everybody, I just check out Joan V. Check out the links. Check out her radio show. You won't be disappointed. Uh, and I haven't even listened to her show yet, but I do plan on doing so. Have you ever traveled here to the United States?
Yes, I have. I've been to Los Angeles, San Antonio, Texas. I've been to Houston. I've also been to San Francisco. Recently, I did a shoot in Columbus, Ohio, and I'll be returning there next week on the next weekend of August to do another shoot with a very, very talented photographer named Laura Dark. She's very famous internationally, and I am very honored to be able to work with her again for the second time to do a publication photo shoot with her. Now, I've also been to other parts of the United States. I've also been to Grand Forks, North Dakota. I've been to Minneapolis, Minnesota, and a few other cities. I've sort of traveled all over the place, either by bus, car, or by plane.
If you can give anyone advice, whether it's modeling, whether it's being a radio talk show host, what would your advice be?
My advice from the heart is this: do what you feel is right for you and pursue it consistently. Just be on top of it all the time. If it's really, really important to you, don't ever give up, no matter what highs or what lows you're experiencing in life, because those are always going to be temporary dips. It's just life. And if you're passionate and you feel really strongly about doing something that's positive for yourself and for other people, I say go for it and have a clear conscience. Be true to yourself. Don't sell out to anyone's opinions or their criticisms. Just keep doing you. And I think we need to see more of that out there.
Wise words for Joan V. You probably could be a motivational speaker while you're at it.
You know, I've considered that. I actually didn't mention that I'm also a counselor and I have a master's degree in psychology. So I do counsel people who are experiencing relationship issues or personal stress in their lives, and I am licensed in that as well. So I do run a business during the day as counselor. So during the daytime, the doctor is in, so to speak.
Do you speak any other languages?
Yes, I speak Japanese. I also understand Japanese, and I can comprehend French, although I could probably speak it better.
I want to take this time and thank you so much for doing this interview. For doing this
Oh, thank
interview.
you very much. It's a real pleasure working with you today, Kenny. And I want to thank Bree and Joe of deadbabes.org. You guys are all wonderful, and it's a real honor and pleasure to work with you.
And I want to thank everybody else for listening. You can listen to this and many more on chillinbroadcasting.com. I am Kenny C. Thank you everyone for listening. You all have a good day.